Oh, back at it again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to UWW's Wrestling Roundup, the Asian Olympic Qualifier edition. I'll be your host, Eric Olenowski, and coming up on today's star-studded show, we'll talk about how Yui SUSAKI captured her long-awaited Tokyo Olympic berth by only needing less than 8 minutes of total mat time en route to 50 kilo gold. We'll also talk about the trio of Kyrgyz wrestlers who qualified their nation for the Tokyo Olympic Games. Lastly, we'll touch on which two nations have now secured 6 of 6 Olympic berths in women's wrestling after the Asian Olympic qualifiers. That and much more is coming up on UWW's Wrestling Roundup. The performance of the competition goes to 21-year-old Yui SUSAKI. The two-time world champion only needed 7 minutes and 59 seconds to roll her way to 4 technical superiority victories, and she did so without surrendering a single point. Now SUSAKI's berth at 50 kilos means the host nation for the Tokyo Olympic Games has qualified 6 of 6 women's wrestling weights for the Olympics. And after her finals win, SUSAKI said, "I'm really happy that I can now get down to business of preparing for the Tokyo Olympics. Heading towards August, I will train even harder so I can win the gold medal in Tokyo." Moving to freestyle action, we'll talk about which 6 nations split the 12 Olympic spots. After having been shut out at the 2019 World Championships in Nur-Sultan, Uzbekistan was the biggest winner in freestyle over the weekend. They were led by 2016 Olympic bronze medalist Magomed Ibragimov at 97 kilos as they picked up 4 berths to Tokyo. Meanwhile, Iran came into the tournament with 3 Olympic berths, meaning they had 3 holes to fill. And thanks to Ioannis Imame Chogai, Amir Mohammad Yazdani, and Mohammed Hussein Mohammadian, the Middle Eastern powerhouse had little trouble filling those gaps as they qualified 3 additional wrestlers for Tokyo. China secured 2 places, while the host nation, Kazakhstan, who came into the competition already having 4 quotas, grabbed 1 alongside Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan. But in speaking of Kyrgyzstan, Ernazar Akhmetaliev pulled off one of the most stunning victories of the competition by pinning 65-kilo favorite and 2020 Asian champion Ilyas Bekbulatov in the semifinals. Then, with the 65-kilo gold on the line, Akhmetaliev trumped the attacking style of Amir Mohammad Yazdani in a rough and tumble 15-13 victory. Let's take a look at which nations qualified for the Olympic Games in freestyle. Moving to Greco-roman action, where 7 nations split the 12 Olympic berths. It was Iran who already secured 3 Greco berths through the 2019 World Championships in Nur-Sultan. But in Almaty, they picked up 2 spots for Mohammad Reza Gerai at 67 and Mohammad Hadi Saravi at 97 kilos. Now Gerai will join his brother Muhammad Ali Gerai, also known as the Falcon, at the Olympic Games as he put on one of Greco-Roman's hottest performances of the weekend. He dismantled his 4 opponents 34-0, but his most notable win came in the gold medal bout with a 9-0 trouncing over 2-time world champion from Korea, Ryu Hansu. Jaloman Sharshin Bekov, Akshul Makhmudov, and Ozar Zhuzhubekov were the 3 Kyrgyz wrestlers who qualified their nation over the weekend. Korea and China also captured 2 Olympic berths, while Kazakhstan, Japan, and Uzbekistan grabbed 1 each. Let's take a look at which nations qualified for the Olympic Games in Greco-Roman. In women's wrestling, 6 nations split the 12 spots, but it was Mongolia, led by 39-year-old Nasan Burma or Cheerbat, who earned 4 Olympic berths. And if you think back to the 2019 World Championships, they secured 1 spot at 68 kilos, meaning Mongolia will have 5 of 6 weights qualified for the Olympic Games heading into the final qualification event. China, India, and Kyrgyzstan each booked a pair of women's wrestling tickets over the weekend. But earlier we talked about how Japan, through Yui Susaki's gold medal performance at 50 kilos, secured 6 of 6 Olympic spots. China also did so, as they will have their presence in all 6 weight classes after Jia Long and Fen Zhao qualified at 62 and 68 kilos respectively. It's also worth noting that at 53 kilos, Tatiana Akhmetova Ahmedjol qualified for the Olympic Games and will return after a 13-year absence, so congratulations to her. And let's take a look at which nations qualified for the Olympic Games in women's wrestling. So that'll do it for our coverage of the final Continental Olympic qualifier. 14 of 16 Olympic berths have been claimed, and there's 1 qualification event left. You'll have to finish top 2 at the World and Olympic qualifier in Sofia, Bulgaria, May 6th to 9th to punch your nation's ticket to the Olympic Games. But before we jump to that, we'll have coverage from the Asian and European Championships. The Asian Championships are underway live in Almaty. Right now, you can follow that on UWW.org, while the European Championships kick off next week, April 19th through the 25th in Warsaw, Poland. So plenty of wrestling to watch before we get to the final Olympic qualification event. But that'll do it for today's show. I've been Eric Olenowski. Until next time, wrestling fans, so long.